Friends, we have confirmed the PlayStation Plus video games for May, and I mean the video games of the essential PlayStation Plus, that is the PlayStation Plus of all time. Those that always came in 3s or 2s, well, this time they also come in 3s. And I think we have a very interesting month because the 3 proposals that come to essential PlayStation Plus are very good. At least they are great video games in their genre. Determine if the genre and details I provide about these video game titles appeal to you and if they're worth trying. But generally speaking, I think we are looking at 3 interesting titles. Welcome friends to a new travel video here on Big Data News, and I say travel video because right now, as you may have already noticed, I'm not in the studio. I'm not in Guadalajara, but in Manchester, United Kingdom. I'm still traveling, I'm still on tour in Europe, and I have to talk about PlayStation Plus games from here. I want to clarify this from the start, as there's always someone who immediately asks,
"What's up, Oro? What are you doing?"
Well, let me tell you, I'm traveling, that's what I'm doing. But let's move on to the main topic, PlayStation Plus video games. So, let's get started. All the video games I'm going to talk about today will be available to all PlayStation Plus subscribers in any of their categories, starting from May 6th. Do you already know how this works? These are those video games that you add to your library, and as long as you have a paid PlayStation Plus in any category, you will be able to download and play. And when you stop paying for the PlayStation Plus, well, you will no longer be able to access these games. Got it? Like it always worked? And we're going to start with this one that we're seeing right now on screen, which is Ark Survival Ascended, a title that is actually a complete remastering bar remake of Ark Survival Evolved, the dinosaur survival title. This new edition of Ark Survival Evolved was released in 2023 using Unreal Engine 5, which brings quite a few visual and technical improvements. And although the concept of the video game is the same, which is basically to survive, tame dinosaurs, and build bases, there are certain differences compared to the original game. Ark Survival Evolved received improvements to its graphics, physics, environment, game performance, and overall design. That's because in the previous version of this game we had Unreal Engine 4 and now we have Unreal Engine 5 with all that implies. They also changed some little things about the interface, opened new servers and enabled crossplay between consoles and PC. As the game's name suggests, this would be like the ascension of Ark Survival. The game cycle is very simple. You wake up from nowhere on an island completely devoid of everything. The only thing you have is a stone and you start collecting resources like wood, stone, fiber, food, water and other things. You make tools like axes, spears and clothes. You build a shelter to protect yourself from the weather and predators. And you tame a few dinosaurs and other creatures to use them for transportation, defense, gathering, or combat. Level up, unlock recipes, upgrade gear, explore the map, and discover caves, bosses, and secrets. And you can confront other players, either directly to kill them or to collaborate. That's how you play Ark. It's the typical video game of gathering sticks and pebbles, only with dinosaurs. You can play the title in solo mode, just you, your own game in your own world without anyone bothering you, or you can also play it online in competitive mode, so to speak. That is, against other players who can kill you, or in cooperative mode against players you will collaborate with to survive. The title sold over 40 million copies in all its versions, and it's one of the most popular survival games out there today. In fact, right now on Steam there are over 32,000 people playing this video game. It's a very lively game, and it's a game that, if you're looking to discover the survival genre, were you interested or curious about it at some point? Did it catch your attention? It's a great game to get into the survival genre, as it's an excellent example of the genre. So, if you wanted to count sticks and pebbles, this is the title. I know that when it comes to Balatro, there is a lot of ignorance about it, because many people believe that Balatro is just a poker game and nothing more. The truth is, it's much more than just a poker game. Why call Balatro a poker game? It's like calling Rocket League a soccer video game. I mean, does the same thing happen with Rocket League? A title that relies on certain basic rules of football to develop another type of gameplay, that's Balatro. Balatro relies on certain basic rules of poker, certain plays and the cards themselves. But the gameplay is actually much deeper and is a roguelike. In Balatro, you use the poker card deck to make the typical poker plays, such as pairs, straights, flushes, and things like that. Once you assemble your play and put it on the table, points are counted with certain multiplication factors and certain values, depending on the cards you have used. Those points accumulate, those cards are spent, and more cards are given again. The point objectives of the different stages of the game are always increasing, and you will always need to score more and more points to pass the different bets that the title proposes. And the fun part is that as you progress in the game, different cards and different card envelopes will appear to you. Random ones that you will be able to open to add wild cards and also to add cards to your deck. These wild cards or jokers have different properties that apply to your hands and your plays. And they increase the multipliers, the points, and everything you get to be able to advance with these scores. As the game gets harder and requires more points, there's a chance you might think Balatro is not for you because you don't know poker or because you don't know card games. You might think it could become complicated or complex, but that couldn't be further from the truth. If there's one thing Balatro excels at, it's introducing you to the rules of the game very gradually. So much so that you'll find yourself learning the game even if you don't know how to play at all. Zero poker, zero cards, zero roguelike games. The title ensures that you understand exactly what you have to do and how to do it well. Then, as you get different wild cards and develop different strategies, you will achieve your own ways of playing. And what is a roguelike? Each time you start a new game and try to get as far as possible, you will find that. Well, the jokers that you're going to get are different and random, and you're going to discover new strategies. It's really highly recommended, folks, if this game has come so far, won so many awards, and sold so much. There must be a reason, right? If you already have the service, give it a try. What you're seeing on screen is the complete opposite of Balatro and the complete opposite of Ark Survival Evolved. There are no skills, cards, character progression, crafting, jokers, or roguelike elements here. Here there's only a burly sailor loaded with weapons up to his neck, blasting enemies. Volgand is what is called a boomer shooter, that is an old school style shooting game for old people, like Doom for example. A title with a violent and quite short campaign that proposes you to advance through linear levels with some secrets, blasting enemies, and following a story. The main campaign of Warhammer 40,000 Volcano has an approximate duration of about 10 hours. That is if you play on medium difficulty and focus on progressing in the game and nothing more. For completionists aiming to uncover all secrets and obtain everything in the game, it takes around 13-14 hours. The title places us in the Forge world, which is the same setting where it places us. The Space Marine game, a kind of planetary factory of the Empire that produces weaponry for the Ultramarines. I'm not gonna lie to you, I know absolutely nothing about Space Marine or Warhammer or much less, because the only thing I played was Space Marine 1 and 2 in this title, so I know little to nothing about Warhammer. However, I think that's an advantage because knowing as little as I do about Warhammer, I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I don't remember the title at all. Let's see, I remember the gaming experience, I remember it was fun, and that's it. But the campaign, the story, and everything else, zero. Because, by the way, it's not a game that has a very deep narrative, but the most fun is what you're seeing on screen. Advanced burst enemies. And that's it. Volgand works perfectly as a spin-off because it doesn't pretend that you know anything. So if you are suddenly looking for a shooter to move forward, play and nothing more, and have some fun, without having to pay too much attention to character progression, weapons, or the story, well, it's special. The graphics are beautiful and the game plays very well. At least I played it on PlayStation 5 and also played it on PC, and it's spectacular. It's not the greatest gem of all time. It's not the gaudy shooter 2024, but it is a great title. Well, 2024 or 2023. I think it came out a while ago. Ark Survival Ascended is a great survival title, Balatro is a great roguelike card game, and Bolt Gun is a great boomer shooter. They are three very good games in their genre. In fact, if we look up the scores right now, we can check it. We have Volgand, which is a 75-point game. Quite good Balatro, which is a 90-point gem. And we have Ark Survival Ascended. Well, people didn't like it at all, but this is because the game came out quite strange. In fact, it was delayed. There were a lot of problems. Ark Survival Evolved wasn't well received in the end. It seems it wasn't that good after all. But it is very fun. It's one of those games that if you play it with 2 or 3 friends, you're going to have a great time. Collecting sticks, little stones, building your base, and facing dinosaurs. In conclusion, the games added to the essential tier of PlayStation Plus are decent for the base catalog. But we fall into what often happens with this service. What is it? It's not that bad if you like any of these genres. If you don't like any of these genres, then you're going to think the games are trash because they are quite specific genres. By the way, I take the opportunity to ask you to put in the comments, what do you think of these video games and what did you think of the month? Put it in the comments. This way we can have a conversation and I can read your thoughts. What do you think about all of this? Friends, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all the love and support received. Our last video here on the channel. And if you want to know more about video games and discover new titles and things that are coming, I recommend you watch one of these 2 videos. Have a great week. See you next time. Bye.